what do we do with the hypermobile hip?
Oh my goodness. So I myself, funny enough, went through a nice bad bout of symptomatic FAI and found out I had a labral tear back in 2021. And what we know from the research and the evidence is that a lot of these labral tears or like bony changes from the hip joint, especially in hypermobile people, are actually occurring during their puberty years when they are playing rotational sports. And usually they're not showing up until like later in life when we have a sudden onset of change of activity or forces to the hip joint. For my personal case, it was changing my squat stance and not adjusting the amount of load that I was lifting after that squat stance change. And when we are dealing with painful, pinchy hips that may or may not have a labral involvement in clients with hypermobility, it can be a hard road out of that. It took myself an entire year to get out of that and get back to squatting normally. I know a lot of clients my team and I work with, it can take, anywhere up to like 6 months to a year to kind of get back. And part of that is because obviously our connective tissues are pretty lax, and our ligaments are also extremely lax. And so we really rely on the muscles, the tendons in order to basically kind of hold our little bodies together. And when we see hip pain, especially anterior hip pain, we usually have a contribution of hip flexors, adductors, and abductors that are also affected within the hip pain itself. And so you really kind of have to attack it from all different directions with a lot of hip stability, a lot of calming the tissues down, calming the nervous system down, and then finding that entry point and then just slowly rebuilding very, very slow over time.